Hey, it's Alvin Jones, and this is June, Black Music Month 2025. And Black Music Month is about celebrating the accomplishments of those who make Black music. And actually, Black music is not music for Black people, it's music for people done by Black people. And sometimes we have to make sure that we understand these are Black people who are creating this music, this jazz, this gospel, this country. All of the music that is American music is Black music. So I am really happy. And I was telling her earlier, and I'm going to tell you, I go way back in enjoying Melba Moore. Now, before we get started, I just want to say, first of all, she just got recently her star on the Walk of Fame, but it should have happened earlier because this woman is a pioneer. She's a pioneer. She's on record labels. She's promoted artists, and she's got a new single out. So it is my pleasure just to welcome Melba Moore. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Well, that's only half of it. We just have a little bit of time. But you're still going strong, and you haven't slowed down. I remember the last time I saw you at Bethesda Blues and Jazz, you were like hitting those notes, especially like Lean on Me. And I understand you're coming to DC in July. You're going to be at Blues Alley, from what I understand.
That's true. Yes, I'll be at Blues Alley. I can't remember the dates right now, but it's in July.
I think it's the 25th and 26th, but folks, y'all need to go on the Blues Alley website and get your reservation now. You don't want to miss this, I'm telling you.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. First of all, you on Broadway in Purlie. Was it Lula May? I'm trying to always get the title of the character. Lula May. Help me.
Lutiebelle Gussamet Jenkins.
There you go. And you won a Tony. Now,
I-
a Tony's not easy to get
No.
because, when a movie comes out, there's the studios behind it and a lot of press. But the Tonys, you're talking about acting and you're talking about what you're only dark, what, on Mondays when you're on Broadway?
Yeah, one night a week. Yeah.
So, and you're doing a matinee and so forth. So you're doing seven shows over and over again. And each
I
time
think
it,
it's eight.
huh?
I think it's eight shows.
Oh, that's right, because you got the
You got
two.
like two matinees on the weekend. Yeah.
So you got more shows than you got days in the week. But also, you have to be
Yeah.
in movies, you can do another take. No, but each night you've got to hit that mark, and it's a different crowd, and you're starting all over again because it's not like when people go to a movie and they go back and see the movie again. No, these are people coming in and they're like, okay, I done spent my money. I'm on Broadway investment. And you did that.
Oh boy. No, when you say it that way, I feel like I I know that's true, but I guess as an artist, you have so much to think about. You don't think about like I done spent my money. You better do what I came here to see you do.
That's right.
It scare you.
Well, let me ask you this. Before Broadway, take me back to the beginning of your career. When did you know that you wanted to not only act, but to sing?
Oh, kind of late. Maybe that's why I got the Hollywood Walk of Fame late, and everything is coming late because my parents were performers, and they essentially said, we want you to have a real job. So they really discouraged it, but it's in our blood.
Yeah.
And so the first profession I had was as a public school music teacher. It's as close as I could get to music.
Well, you and Roberta Flack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are educators. I think you are kind of a certain type of you've had that experience, and if you find out that it's something that really is part of your gift, I know I kind of take that with me, so I feel like I'm a good student.
Mm.
It's always something to be learned, and then when you learn it, you teach. It's a cycle that continues to recreate itself. Yeah.
It's like the student becomes the teacher. It's like I have a mentee who was 14 who got into radio, and now he's the person that's keeping me in the game because he's constantly helping me sharpen my saw. He's constantly telling me where I need to go, what I need to do, what the new trends are. So The best way to be a good teacher is to be a good student.
And you expressed precisely why, because at a certain point you get mature, and with an industry that really is about fashion and what's in, you can become irrelevant real quick. So you need someone to I mean, I think we're human beings, so we're going to be very subjective. And you get something comfortable and it's under your belt, you want to kind of stay there, you know? But things are changing. You can't stay there. So you need, and you can't, I don't think you can, well, I can't. Not maybe not everybody's like I am. I know I don't see myself the way other people see me. So you need someone else kind of be your looking glass so you can tell if if you're still communicating properly and to whom are you communicating? And now the audiences are changing. Hopefully, you keep your peers in the stuff that you started with, but they're getting older, and there's ones that's still at that level, but you're not there anymore. You've gotten older, and there's a younger one. So everything really is changing, truly, really changing.
You know, and I think that goes back to the core. A person who is an entertainer, a person who is a musician, a person who has it inside will be able to adapt because you're not influenced by what's, in other words, you can't be influenced by what's outside of you, but your core stays and you're able to adapt. I mean, one of the things I just want folks to know, you and Clifton Davis, I used to always like to watch your show in the summer. I'm not going to say what year it was, but there were two Black people with a variety show, you know, and
Right.
and the skits that you guys did and the way you played off of each other, because you played that kind of, oh, well, I don't know. It was almost you were a smarter Gracie Allen. And so you were able to hold your own, but at the same time, you had that little difference of how a man and a woman's relationship works out. And
Mhm.
what was that like doing? Because you were replacing, was the Sonny and Cher you guys were replacing? So,
No, we were kind of like a Sonny and Cher
mhm.
couple, but actually we were summer replacement for the Carol Burnett show.
Oh, see that's even anytime you were doing something, and Carol Burnett now that
Very good.
oh, classics, classics.
Right, her yodel.
Yeah. How did that come about? How were you guys able to get that
That position, maybe.
yeah.
Well, first of all, my fellow actor in Purlie, Novella Nelson,
Mm,
was a friend of Clifton's. She introduced us, and that's how we met and started dating, falling in love. But
mm,
he was down the street in the chorus of Hello Dolly, which at the time was starring Pearl Bailey,
aha.
not Carol Channing or Barbara Streisand. So Black people were breaking through in the Broadway theater. Her leading man was Cab Calloway.
Mm. Howdy, 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 ho.
Right. So it was an amazing time on Broadway. He went from the chorus of Hello Dolly to being the one of the two male leads in the musical Two Gentlemen of Verona. I can't remember the other gentleman that he starred with, but he was a very, very, very successful and very talented, serious actor.
Mm. And also, for those who didn't know, Clifton Davis also wrote Never Can Say Goodbye and Looking Through the Windows, songs that were first done by the Jackson Five, and then Gloria Gaynor redid Never Can Say Goodbye.
So I mean, it really speaks to his incredible talent and diversity, Clifton.
Now, you said at that time you guys were a couple and in love, so that's probably where that chemistry came off because you
Well,
could
absolutely.
that
Yeah.
playful banter, people who are in relationships, they can
Yeah.
tease each other, and the other person will take it knowing that it's a love tease. It's something to get her, just to get you aroused or get a response out of you.
Absolutely. And, people never really ask us about that aspect of the show. I should say me, because I don't have any connection with Clifton now. And of course, he's busy doing his new soap opera,
Uh-huh.
Beyond the Gates.
Yeah. Um, so what was it like? Because you guys were groundbreakers to be
Yeah,
a
I was thinking about that aspect of it, that we were both fresh. We hadn't done television yet, and this was our first. I mean,
so you hadn't even done
was
anything.
just coming out of the course,
We
and
like that. We're gonna put them in TV. Yeah.
Well, you could say that until we write the book, and we can tell you some more of the
Okay.
details of how it happened.
Oh, wait,
But we,
the
both
book.
we
Yeah,
both
yeah.
adjusting to our relationship and adjusting to camera work and adjusting to uh, being the first to do a sitcom, a couple, all the technical aspects of it that really had never been done before. We had a friend of ours named Mildred Lane, well, she was a friend of mine. She
Mm.
was in the chorus of Purlie, but she had an incredible, just natural wit. And we just had her on the stage to give us ideas and to make sure that the comedy wasn't insulting to us. I
Ah,
mean,
that's
black people.
that's important because in trying to stretch it to get that joke, sometimes people go, that ain't yo, what's up with that? That ain't funny.
Well, I
You
mean, the main thing is that that was being written and directed and produced by white people.
know?
They wouldn't have a clue about really what our culture sensitivities were.
Right. And that's one of the things I know with Norman Lear with Good Times and some other uh
Very good example.
that there were some things they go, no, 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 no.
Especially like All in the Family, right?
Right.
Oh,
We just can't do that. And I'll give you an example. There was a guy that was telling me he was working with AT&T, and AT&T had this new thing that they were going to have the internet at giga speed, speed fast running, and they were going to say run giga run, and the guy was like, no.
no, that's too close. That's too close for comfort.
Right. And they're like, well, what's the
When
problem?
you use that
No.
example, it's interesting that All in the Family, what they do is they broke the barriers there,
Mhm.
though. And and the father character,
Right. Archie Bunker. Yeah.
or Archie, well, he was supposed to be tasteless.
Right.
So I just mean they put it into context so we could experience this in entertainment and open.
Yeah, but they set that up because they even had things like toilet flushes. So they just went, we're gonna go so far that even if we do go, we go, well, if Archie would have just done that by himself, it would have been one thing, but they had all of these
Right. The
things
whole,
they just
yeah,
pushed
we
on.
had a whole cast of members and
Yeah.
everything to play it
But
again.
yeah.
Plus, we were really professional, seasoned actors and writers and directors. Clifton and I were just breaking into it.
Mm.
We didn't, I mean, we love watching TV and everything, but we didn't have a clue what we were doing.
Right, right. Which means that it's like where I am now, I'm standing on the spot so that I don't go off camera. So there's all these little things that you learn. But what I want to talk about with that, and there's so many, we only have a half an hour, and there's so many things that you've done. Was there pressure being one of the first Black, African American, coloreds, whatever name they used at that time, on a national scale? And how did
Forgot about colors.
colored people used to march? You know what I mean? So, but was there pressure? Was there, some gratification, but also some pressure being the first?
I mean, the greatest pressure is that we didn't know what we were doing. You're scared to death. You don't know what you're doing.
Mm,
What kind of pressure is that? I mean, as Black people, there's always pressure. That's something you kind of like know. And then I think there's the other thing. If you are an actor and you're starting out, you just get used to being scared. And what happens when it is, you really get to be alert. It's like you're always at war.
mm.
But then, I mean, you're a warrior, so that's okay. I mean, we love what we do. We're called to do it. So, but it's you don't have any rest.
Yeah. You know
You're
what?
al- you're
I
always like
understand that for anyone wanting to get into the business and starting to get into the business, like acting and being a musician or a singer, it's a calling.
it's
It's
a
not
call.
you do because
Yeah.
it's fun. You do it.
Because there's so much required of you, and there's no way for you to process it all. You just have to say, okay, here we go.
That's true. So now let's transfer to your music career. It sounds like you stepped into my life. There's no other lean on me. Um, and we didn't even get to the point. You had one of the first music videos that I was playing when I got the BET in '84, Donnie Simpson to myself. Remember Reading My Lips and all those other things. How did
Yeah.
that music career come about?
Well, I met my then husband and manager, and he was a gifted entrepreneur.
The Huggins, Higgins, Huggins, Charles Huggins.
Huggins.
Yes.
And he started out as a musician, so he had a love for music and interest in it. Just he was in business now, so and he's just brilliant, and it's a calling for him. He's gifted, and so he really we partnered together to direct and control my career, and we went and he essentially got great record companies for me, got, good songwriters and producers. He went out and got Van McCoy for me.
Wow.
I mean, Van McCoy ushered in by himself the disco era.
Do the hustle, baby. Yes. Yes.
Nobody will ever forget it.
Yeah.
And after, I mean, I remember I would just come off Broadway, and Ethel Merman had a disco record.
I remember that. Not that I'm happy about remembering, but I remember it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
The disco music came in a way that, in certain ways, it's still here with us now. We have house music, we have all different kinds, but essentially, it's great dance music that keeps being created and recreated because that's how Black people are gifted by the Lord.
Hmm. Now let's talk about, because you and Charles, you guys basically had Hush Productions. You brought in artists, Freddie Jackson,
Yes,
Alex Bignon. Uh,
yes,
you also employed a lot of folks, like my buddy Michael Elder and other folks. You brought
yes,
in those producers, and
yes.
you were running a record label, basically,
Record label, a booking
right?
place,
Management company.
management, really, one shop stopping. Yes.
How how difficult was that for you? I mean, you're an artist at the same time you're working with other people's careers, and
That
you.
that wasn't difficult because the environment was a family one. It was synergetic. Um, everybody was, I don't know, it was hard work and everything, but we love what we were doing. I remember one example I can tell you about. It was like the same situation when I first got into doing backup recording sessions. I found, or we discovered each other, Valerie Simpson.
Wow.
And so if you have never met her, you see her personality.
Mm,
She's a nice, person. And everybody's where they want to be, they're doing what they want to do. So like when you get tired, you don't get angry or irritable. Y'all just get silly.
oh, I got a buddy of mine. After midnight, we're just like
Oh,
we're telling jokes and having fun.
after midnight, you can't trust them, right?
Right. I was going to say like the Gremlins. Yeah, you can't feed us. You can't put water on us. We're
So
just lazy. Yeah, we don't even need a grandfather clock. We know. Okay, it must be after midnight because we.
well, it was like that, and it kind of blossomed and bloomed. There's lots of difficulties, but everybody's where they're supposed to be.
Mm,
So without nobody being pressured or anything, you pitch in, you help, you say what's wrong, so you make things happen, even if you never did it before.
well, it's like you just bounce off with each other's energy and your
Yeah,
vibe.
you bounce off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way.
You
Yeah.
guys have done. I remember you guys. Was it Lift Up Your Voice? I'm trying to because I'm getting old.
Yes,
That you guys did it. It was a medley with folks. It was almost like a We Are the World. And it was it Lift Up Your Voice?
absolutely. It was
Yeah.
lift up your voice and sing. Yes.
Yes. And that was pivotal because folks needed to know that yes, we are Americans and we understand the Star Spangled Banner, but uh Lift Every Voice talks about a special part of our lives and a special.
Well, people who are a nation within a nation who have never really truly been given their citizenship.
Exactly.
We have it because that's how God makes it. And how can the people who are music not have a song that represents them as a nation?
Exactly. And I'm
But
glad
we do have it.
we're in Black Music Month because yeah,
So we're still coming. We're still coming out of telling our own stories, not waiting for somebody to make us official.
yeah, and that's what I'm looking at now with this whole idea of people wanting to take our history and remove it like it's not a part of American history. No, it's this is we built this country.
Wait a minute. You just said no.
Yeah, no, we gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, the story.
And we're going to tell the truth.
And, right, and
Not up to you to tell my story or to take it away.
it's our story.
But we have to do that, and sometimes it's
Yeah,
going to continue to take courage.
exactly. And that's what we have to do is we have, as a people, we have to find our courage. We can't let anybody. And you know what? We
I
just
think we find it in each other too. You don't have to try to do it by yourself.
and we just lost Sly Stone, and one of my favorite Sly Stones songs was "Stand." And then in the end, you'll still be you, one who's done all the things you set out to do. There's a midget standing tall and a giant, beside him about to fall. It's that continuance. But I want to get back to you. I mean, I used to do Quiet Storm. I was Melvin Lindsay's weekend relief and vacation relief. So I know what Washington felt when they heard of Melba Moore. There is no other like you. Lean on me. There was a buddy of mine. He passed away a few years ago. Bob Ballard. He was a concert promoter, and he always talked. Yeah, I'm booking Melba because I know she's gonna sell out Constitution Hall. Um, let's
Mhm.
talk about that family connection with you in Washington D.C.
Hmm. Well, it's like kind of like a second community in a way. I mean, wherever there's a large Black population, you got family members in a way there, whether it's culturally or vocationally or literally or musically. Washington is one of those places, and I guess possibly because it is a governmental center, and so it's a place where I know I developed some opportunities to become mentored by people like C. Dolores Tucker and Dr. Dorothy Height, who had the National Council of Negro Women, and did these Black family reunion celebrations all over. So we had different events to take around to the Black communities so that we could actually get the experience of being uh, um, a community citizen for our own culture, like everybody else does for their own culture. But you had to have mentors to do that for you. You couldn't just know how to do that just because you were a star, you know?
Yeah, you just hit two people that, oh my goodness, you just brought great memories. C. Dolores Tucker. I remember going over to the White House, sitting in the back with C, and she was complaining about the new Snoop Dogg album, and that was because
Yes.
she went on that. And you just may remember because you did do Black Family Reunion, and I used to do that stage, that big stage we had at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes, those were just wow. A C. Dolores Tucker, a Dr. Dorothy Height, Shirley Chisholm, all of those.
I mean, I met Coretta Scott King.
I did too. I took a picture with the same day. See, this is your interview, but I'm kind of like
Oh
Bogart.
no, it's ours.
But the same day that I met Coretta Scott King, I also met C. Dolores Tucker and Michael Jordan's mom.
And I remember seeing in one of the stages the Clark sisters for the first time.
Oh yeah, oh
Are
yeah.
you joking?
It's amazing.
I
So
mean, and on and on and on and on.
yeah, but this is about you. We have to we're having fun, but this is
We'll
about
bring it
you.
back.
Um, your star on the Walk of Fame. Describe to me how that felt when you pull that the little with the rope and there's that star with your name on
Yeah. Well, I had to kind of be pulled back into the reality of that. Uh, um, I wasn't thinking about it or anything. You just kind of think focused and I guess I'm a real like today person and what we're going to do today and what's going on today. And and of course, I have a great team, so they're looking at those things and saying, "Well, Miss Moore, you have to do this, you have to do that, or that's on the scene, or this is a difficulty thing, or that you don't have that anymore. It's changing, and keep you aware of those things." And by the time my team let me know that this was a reality, I said, "Oh, oh, well, first of all, I'm gonna have to write a speech." I mean, I could tell you that it was otherworldly, but I'm trying to zero in some specific uh, things that would let you understand like how it felt. I had never met Cat Williams.
Oh wow.
I met him there at the presentation. Yeah, because I mean, I know he knew who I was and everything, but he's kind of in another era and another lane.
We are here to honor the extraordinary life and achievements of a true legend. And in these day and age, we call somebody a legend if they've been doing something for 20, 30 years. But to be at the top of your craft in stage, television, music, and film, there really has never been anything like it. I looked up who paved the way for Melba Moore, who was the person that excelled in all of those things, and I found out that that person did not exist. Melba Moore is a one of one in our industry, and that's what we're celebrating. Beyond the bright lights of Broadway and television, Melba Moore's recording career has spanned 6 decades. Let that sink in, 6 decades, and solidified her as a musical icon to this very day. People are listening to club classics like You Stepped Into My Life and Love's Coming At You, because it never ages, just like Melba Moore.
We're kind of looking at each other. Of course, with great admiration, but really kind of, wow. You
But
know, so he read what I life and everything, he learned who I was and everything. And I'm saying, oh, wow, you know, about each other. Oh, she did that. She did. Oh, yeah. He said, now I remember him saying, so I don't want to get my start before she does, you know. The realities of really the greatness of people and how it expresses itself and how you just have to be who you are and really try to be, you know, work at being the best person that you can. And these things happen and then you experience it. Now I get a chance to try to explain to you, you know, what it's like and to understand that that's going to be there. That's permanent.
I just want to make sure they gave you your due for everything that you did. We got to do a full accounting here. This is what
Uh-oh.
was done. She's done TV. She's got a Tony. She's been nominated for Grammys and the whole 9 yards. So I just want to make sure Miss Moore.
Oh, they did it. They did.
Hey, you're the original Eminem. You know what I mean?
They did it. It's marvelous and grand, and of course, it continues to sustain you and put you out there in such an incredible way. It continues to do that, you know.
Yeah. Now you are still making music. You got music out. Let's talk about that. And that's what I like. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and we were just talking about how people who know music and understand music, your songs will probably last 300-400 years. We were talking about the song "Oh Happy Day," how it came from. It was Evan Hawkins' interpretation or arrangement of a song that was done back in the 1700s. And what we were talking about is just the fact songs that are created today are songs that can last 200, 300, 400 years.
Yeah, in some ways, I really do think that's possible. For instance, I did Purlie the Broadway show, but then, and I don't think anybody was doing that then, we put it on videotape so people can go to YouTube and see it now.
Mm. Y'all heard that, y'all. Y'all can see Purlie on videotape. Okay.
So, I mean, that's to me how I relate how it's possible that your music could be around for a couple 100 years.
Yeah, because I think about it, you got pictures of the Civil War, and that was over 150 years ago. And now, with the technology, like you and I, we're talking now, you know, when I first started doing video online back in 2006, it was 320 by 280. Now we're in HD. So this stuff will last. So this conversation will last for a while, you and I.
Well, I mean, only if it's relevant to people, though. You know?
That's true. Let's hope this is relevant.
It's
relevant to y'all.
like the longer we're here, the more choices people have, so they can choose something else. You know?
That's so true. Listen, I know you got things to do. We were only going to get a half an hour, and I don't want to go over time because I want to be able to get you back at another point. But
Thank you. Yeah.
I got to thank my buddy Tom Esty because he's a PR person extraordinaire, and he's always getting me these folks who are just. What I like about Tom is he doesn't take just anyone as a client. He takes people who have background, who have an authenticity, and I don't like the word authentic, but someone who really has done something that's important to music in the industry, in the entertainment industry. So Miss Melba Moore, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Oh, and let's not forget, she's at Blues Alley. I think it's 25th, 26th. Look online and check that out too.
Of July.
July, that's right.